I'm here at St. Polycarp Parish Church here in Laguna, in a town called Cabuyao. Of course, it's quite easy to go through this town. Maybe you're on the way from Manila down to Los Baños or somewhere like that, and not bother with these little places. It's got a history going back to the 1500s, and it was actually originally in Laguna de Bay. It moved in about 1700s and had to be rebuilt here because of flooding in its original place. We're going to take a little look around. Here in Cabuyao, this is St. Polycarp Parish Church, one of the oldest churches in Laguna, with roots going back all the way to the 1500s, which is during the Spanish colonial period. And what you see here isn't the original structure. The first church was actually built closer to Laguna de Bay, but flooding forced it to be moved here in the 1700s. This location, right by the town centre, follows the classic Spanish layout: church, plaza, and then the community all built around it. So it might look fairly simple compared to other churches in the Philippines, some of the grander ones, but that's part of its charm and its identity. This is a working church, still very much part of the daily life. We've just had the Easter period here, and it was extremely busy. So it's not just a preserved landmark, it's actually an active place. And so it's not just religious history either. This place also witnessed a real drama in 1935 during the Sacdilista uprising, when rebels took part in a short but intense rebellion. They were a movement founded by a guy called Benigno Ramos, and it was poor farmers, labourers, and obviously they were frustrated with poverty, land inequality, and at that time the continued American influence over the Philippines. And they wanted immediate independence and major social reforms. So what happened here was that rebels launched a coordinated uprising across parts of Luzon, this province. And here in Cabuyao, some insurgents took refuge inside St. Polycarp Church. The government forces responded violently and quickly. The church became a defensive position with the rebels holed up inside, which led to gunfire and clashes around the area, and obviously a lot of casualties amongst the rebels. So when you stand here, you're not just looking at a church, you're looking at centuries of local history, from Spanish colonialization to modern day Philippines after the American colonization. It's definitely a quiet, but it's a meaningful stop if you're exploring Laguna. And if you take a closer look, you'll notice how solid and grounded the structure is. Those thick walls were built for a reason. They're built to withstand earthquakes, and that was something that the Spanish architects and builders had to adapt to here in the Philippines. And just around the church, you can still sense the old town layout. So you can imagine this area years ago with traders, farmers, families, all gathering here with the church, at the centre of everything. It's also interesting that this parish is dedicated to St. Polycarp, an early Christian martyr, and actually this is the only church in the Philippines with his name. So that's quite unique. So this isn't about grand visuals. It's about sort of atmosphere. It's local. You feel connected to the history by being here. So if you're passing through Cabuyao, and when you're in Metro Manila, you're probably trying to head out of town as much as possible. But if you did stop in Cabuyao, it's definitely worth stopping here just for a few minutes to take it all in.